many, many times is people who go to other countries as tourists or as missionaries or on their honeymoon that aren't traditional Christian countries, or who go into places like temples and mosques. God's shown me this many, many times. People who go over to Turkey to visit their family and suddenly they come back. One of the most common questions I ask is, when did this start? And what happened around that time? Oh, it started after we got back from Turkey. Oh, it started after we got back from Papua New Guinea. And already Papua New Guinea, Turkey, red flag, red flag. All right. Because people come back, they're not sealed enough. These countries, many things, if they want to know you're a Christian or a Westerner, they'd be just cursing you for the fun of it, but Spirit's taking advantage of you. If you're going into a temple because you want to see or a mosque, you want to go in and see the big mosque, you have to take off your shoes. What are you doing when you take off your shoes? You're giving honor to what? The God of Islam? I don't think so. You can go in there with an infiltrator's mind. You can pray up and say, I'm going in there. Pray. But otherwise, I just don't think it's worth the risk of going in there. So there's any active temple, any active mosque, if it's an old ruin, maybe, but they've still got all the statues and things guarding the gates and stuff. It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it because so many people come back. I remember early on when God showed me this, that a young couple, we were in Coolum. This girl came back, they'd been on their honeymoon. And she came back, she's early 20s, terrible pain, and she'd been operated on. They took out some of the stomach, they still couldn't find the problem, they put tubes in, whatever, terrible pains, and they couldn't get to the bottom of what it was. I was praying for her, I was showing me, Holy Spirit, show me. And she went off with the husband. Holy Spirit, show me. And then after I'd finished praying and they sort of went off, it was late in the evening, an older lady came from the church and said, oh, such a shame. It all started after they came back from their honeymoon in Thailand. As soon as she said Thailand, I instantly got the picture of what they'd done. They participated in, there's so many little, light the candle, send off the lotus flower up to whatever, and say a prayer or whatever. These little rituals they do, and also the little things they put on their beds, and there for sure would be statues in their bedrooms or whatever. I immediately had a picture that they'd participated in a little ritual. So I said to the lady, and the Holy Spirit showed me immediately, and so I said to the lady, because they were from that church, and so I said, this is what I believe, they need to pray and renounce having been involved in whatever they participated in over there. But this is so common. People and missionaries, the number of missionaries, often around the gut, often around the digestion, very common also around reproductive organs. We've been on mission trips with the Indigenous community, over to Africa. Okay, they're just simply not prayed up enough. They're not savvy enough about the voodoo curses that people would be looking to try and get a little strand of their hair, a little corner of material, a tissue from the room, and just for fun be cursing them. But then there are lots of stories about imports from India and other places where they're cursed because they know they're coming over as souvenirs or to be sold in shops in Western countries. And so again, many stories about curse. Often there's something in the house, there's something in your house. And sometimes you do go into people's houses. There are a lot of statues of people, of animals and things. Where did you get that? I would just get rid of it. God put me on a search of my house when I was newly saved. I threw out loads of masks, Indonesian shadow puppets, Indian figurines, African masks, loads of books, loads of movies, jewelry, anything I thought came from a place that could have been cursed or where New Agey beliefs or whatever, it just had to go. And then I chucked out cushions just because they came from India, because I heard God saying, there's something else. I was chucking out everything. I kept hearing, there's something else. It wasn't until I moved house and a piece of furniture I had was in a different position and I could see it from a distance, and I just sat there and I thought, what I thought was just swirls, just wooden carved swirls, from a distance I could see was a stylized dragon. And that is what God was trying to show me. So I got the hammer out, knocked the dragon off, chopped it up and got rid of it that way. In my book, Searching for Healing, I talk about other things too that happened around this time when I was getting rid of stuff. Like the spirit, it's like God lifted the veil on the spirit realm. I was seeing open visions, I was hearing audible words. I thought I was losing my mind because suddenly the spirit realm was open to me. I thought, I couldn't tell anyone about it because I thought, am I losing my mind? But God was just showing me things I've been dabbling with, and there was a bit of a tug. The devil was trying to, I saw this open vision of a green flame, and an audible voice said, you need to spin your fourth chakra. I thought, chakra? I read the New Testament. Chakra? The Bible doesn't talk about chakras. Devil, I understood that there was a tug of war, that I was trying to be pulled back into deception, that chakras was okay. Anyway, this sort of thing went on for some time. And I was being woken in the night to be watched, to see like visions or dreams that were like watching movies, and dark shadow would come, all of this sort of stuff going on. So that's why I was chucking stuff out, getting rid of all these demons in my house. And sometimes though, it wasn't until I actually moved house too, because there was something in that house, and I'd been told that the people who lived there before were dodgy. I don't know what they were up to, but it wasn't until I moved house that all of this sort of, these weird tormenting things stopped. Okay, so looking for things like cursed objects, witchcraft aimed at tourists,